Good evening, everybody. It is Thursday, the 21st of March, 2019. This is the Bull Market Watch, and this is episode number 119. Now, let me quickly stop the music here, and I have to find a better way to fade that out. Before we get into the show, let's take a quick look at our disclaimer. This is not financial advice. You can pause the video to read the whole disclaimer or find the link in the description down below. The big news today was the change in Bitcoin prices. We see that Bitcoin had a dip back. Ethereum, Litecoin, and Stellar. Whoops, not quite in that order, but Stellar's up here, Ethereum's here, and Litecoin's here. They all took a dip back today, and it was quite an interesting move as they really quickly moved back. And now as we zoom in on these, are these bear flags, or are they going to go back up from here? So when we look at the longer term view for each of these markets, we see that we're still in this uptrend. It was a bit of a pullback. So now only time will tell which way it goes, but we'll dig into some of those indicators to see what we can see there. Hey, Old Scott, thanks for the sound check. And Julius, good to have you along. Thank you guys for tuning in. So the interesting thing for today is to see, what did this little pullback mean for the cryptos? Are the cryptos going to give us an inside view of the turn of the bull or bear market? Because we know in October, things were looking pretty fantastic for pretty much all the cryptos. We were making some great bottoms out of August and September, a little bit higher in October, early October. Then we were building up, and some of them, like you see here, were almost in the middle of November, taking these little moves up here. We thought this was the beginning of the bull market right here. And bang, we got really hammered after that. After that little bit of encouragement, down it came. So everybody's a little gun shy as we're coming up to these positions here. And as prices are coming up to the near breakout position, some people are believing that we're going to get that hammer down again. And other people are believing this is actually the turnaround. This is actually the bottom formation. And this is where it's going to be taking off. Now, the purpose of this study that we're doing here is called the Bull Market Watch. And we are going through all the cryptocurrencies on poloniex for this basic free study. And we're going through it every day pretty much, and gauging the bullishness and bearishness of each of the different markets. And we give them a color code. If it's an alert, like it's almost going to be going up, a buy signal, we color it yellow. If it's something that's past the buy signal, then we color it green, as though we could have been a trade right there. Blue is the exit the signal. We're looking for those now. If the makes a top formation, breaks out of those sideways channels, and the moving averages cross over, then we're going to be exiting these trades. We're going to mark those onto the chart so that we know that. Orange and red are fails and near fails. The market is almost going down, and gray is neutral. So as we're going along here, we can see the detailed view and the general view of the bullishness of all of the cryptos. Another reason for doing this is to determine when cryptos are going along with Bitcoin, and cryptos are going up and Bitcoin's going up, and when does it switch so that cryptos are starting to go down as Bitcoin goes up. We know that happened in the last bull run, and there was a specific day that we could actually see that in almost all the cryptos on that specific day, Bitcoin started to go up and the crypto started to go down relative to Bitcoin. So I'm hoping that our study is going to help us identify that day as well, because we're just on it so regular that we're going to notice those days. We're going to notice days like March the 12th. And we're going to notice it in every single different crypto market, that on March the 12th, there was a really important day of breakouts and pullbacks. That was the beginning of breaking above these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations for many different markets. And for me, I was wondering, is March the 12th going to turn out to be that big fake out breakout, and then prices are going to be coming down after that? Is this our exhaustion to the upside, that candle of not enough power, and down we go? So this is what we're watching for right now, because most everything is bullish. Most everything in our trading signals are bullish. I guess I'm on the wrong panel here. So as we scroll down here, we can see the progression from early January from grays and reds and oranges, really looking bad here at the beginning of February. It looked like everything was going to be cracking down lower. And then it went back to neutral, and we had a few alerts shaping up through the middle of February. Now we're starting to see some holds. And as we get to the middle of March, it's like everything is a hold. Everything is past that bottom formation and is taking off and going up. And so now we're watching for the cold fish signals. When do we get out? Today is March the 20th, 21st, and is episode 119. We're looking at the price of Ardor up above here, and Ardor remains a hold. It is doing well. It came up, poked above these levels, consolidated, and took a step up. So that's really good. We can just relax on that one now. Put your stop just above your entry, and let's see how long it goes. Basic attention token. Hey, Send Crypto, good to have you along. And Julius, you're expecting more downside for Bitcoin. The turnaround 1, 2, 3 bottom formation on Bitcoin is not convincing enough. Well, actually, Julius, let's do some research on that, because the rest of this show we're going to go through and we're going to see green, 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 all the way along. And let's just whip through those, but I definitely want to stop and talk about that turnaround 1, 2, 3 bottom formation being not convincing enough in the 1, 2, 3 in Bitcoin, because there was a time where it wasn't convincing enough for me in the past, and I was calling top formation, top formation, top formation, and Bitcoin blasted off in unexpected ways. And now I'm seeing that same pattern building up here. So I'm still believing that Bitcoin is going to take off, no matter how many people are talking bearish. Hey, AOL Chandra, good to have you along. So Send Crypto says, Doug, on Binance, BTC volume was lower than today's volume, but it had a bigger drop. So maybe the drop we just experienced today was like a shakeout. Volume is important for sure. Okay, we're sliding off into Bitcoin talk. Let's talk about Bitcoin then. I was looking at this Bitcoin and the logarithmic chart and going, I don't get it, really. But if we're looking at the logarithmic chart, then there's lots of room for this to come back to the $1,200 level. That's for sure. This has not come back to the 50% level. If we were to do a Fibonacci, that's not working out right. Oh, it's a logarithmic Fibonacci. Look at that. Trash. Okay, never mind. So the other charts we have for Bitcoin here are the RSI and the price of Bitcoin just recently as we're coming up to these levels, as it's consolidating and coming up. Then we have the on balance volume, and we can see this parallel channel. We're inside the parallel channel right on the bottom. If it breaks below this, that's a certain sign. That's a really clear spot that we can take and pay attention to. And likely the on balance volume will turn negative when that happens. When we look at the moving average convergence divergence indicator, we can see this cross here was very good, but I don't like that this is crossed. It's good to see we're still seeing positive histogram, but weakness in this indicator, a cross and a good deep cross and a switchover is not good, especially at this point here. But overall, I'm still thinking we're going way up crazy, and I'll just go back in history and show you where. Whoops. Clear that off. Zoom in and zoom back. I'm going to go into the 1 day views and pull it back and pull it back. So as things were coming up into these levels, I was calling top formation, top formation, top formation. And it was looking much like we are right now, where it's coming up to these levels, coming up to these levels, coming up to these levels, and it seems impossible. Like a lot of people are thinking it's coming down from here. You see these big sells as people are just expecting it to go down. We just came from a big downtrend, and it's just in this sideways trend. It seems like we should be going down more, especially if you do a logarithmic from here. I'm certain it'll look like it should be going down more. And then after this burst down, we surged up. And this is on the daily. So this took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 6, then 7. Then it started to take off on day 8 and 9 was a huge one. Then more consolidation, more up. And we're still not hit about $700 US yet. So this is what I'm expecting out of where we are now. And it may be that we go to 5,100. This may be the 5,100 as we're standing compared to where we are now. This kind of move. I don't know if this will take us out of where we are now up to 61 or out of where we are now up to the 51. Let's go back to the where we are now. So from where we are now, I don't know if that chart pattern is going to blast us up to the blue line here or all the way up to the top here. Goodness, I'm having trouble clicking buttons here. And so there's my Bitcoin view, and it's from looking at a similar chart pattern in the past, just giving me that feeling that there is no supply. People have bought up the supply, and we have the bears who are betting against it, and it seems like it could be right, but we're going to get a real big takeoff here. Short this, Ponzi to zero. All right, let's rock and roll. Shorting is good at the right time, and when it comes up to the 6,100, there's probably going to be an opportunity for a quick short, but I'm not bearish right now. Now let's zip back to the show here. Basic attention token. This is something I want to go over many different times. As we are watching these 1, 2, 3 bottom formations break out, and we actually turn it to a green signal from our yellow. We say it's an alert, and then it turns green. I want to pay attention to, let me go to the chart, and we're looking at basic attention token, and I can't click on the whole line without lighting that up. So basic attention token column. Yay, got it. This was February 26th. It went from, well, even earlier than that. We could say February 16th to February 26th. Anywhere in there is a buy area. And we don't have to get to a specific spot where it's a buy. You can put your position in any of these spots because we're looking for a longer term hold, and we're coming out of some amazing bottom formations. We're super lucky at this time to be doing what we're doing with these trades. So pay attention to the basic attention token that we're not doing anything. We bought this trade and we're sitting on it. We're not doing anything. We're watching for when to get out, and we're going to go through all of these trades to see when to get out and judge, think for yourself, think against your own trades. Are you over trading? Is your position size so large that you can't let a little bit of movement happen in the market? You got to control your position sizes and don't overtrade. Put on the trade when the market proves you correct. There's nothing for you to do. And we'll go through that over and over again as we are zooming in to see when we should get out. And we've got a few different case studies going on about when should we get out on these crossovers, the top formations. We'll study them as they proceed. Dum-dum-dum. Basic attention token still is a hold. Let me move my cursor on this page. Get it out of the way. Now I'm ready to go. Next in our poorly organized list is Bancorn Network token. It's pulling back here where I'm going to make it neutral. If it starts to pull back more, it's going to turn into a near fail and a fail. And this is the kind of transition that we'll be watching for, as the colors changing back from green to yellow to neutral. This went past yellow and right into neutral right away. BCH ABC. Okay, it's pulled back a little bit, but it still stays in the hold status. BCH SV showed us that it was a cold fish, and we kept it a cold fish. It's like a fail now. It's not a cold fish. This has gone past that into fail territory. This is looking like it's breaking down to nowhere good. Probably get out in 5 years or so if you need the money. Yes, indeed. So I got my hair cut today. And I'm talking to this haircutting girl. And I'm telling her that if you just put away $20 a week and get into the habit of putting away $20 a week, by the time you're retirement age, you'll have $1 million. It'll grow into $1 million. And all you ever have to do is put away $20 a week. Do you go to Starbucks and spend $20 a week? And she agreed. She liked the story. Bitcoin. And then I told her the story of if you had put $10 into Bitcoin in January of 2011, it was 25 cents each. It's nice, easy math. So $10 makes 40 Bitcoin. 40 Bitcoin is about $160,000 right now. $10 into $160,000. And so if you were be new to cryptocurrencies and you're kind of freaked out about it, start off with a plan of putting $20 a week into a different crypto. $20 into this one, $20 into that one, $20 into the other one. I'm going to move Bitcoin back to an alert from our hold status that we had. Then next we're going into BitShares. And you know what? And I believe that in that 5 years, you're going to make those $20 a week into thousands of dollars. So when you put that $20 in, pay the emotional, get the emotional value of the thousands of dollars that you are going to be pulling out. When you put that $20 in, don't treat it like $20. Treat it like $2,000 that it potentially could become in the future. And so then you'll really value that $20 more, and you won't spend it on coffee. You'll think, man, you know what? If I put this away, this could be thousands of dollars. Now I'm going to keep BitShares at a hold here, but I'm going to zoom in on this. And it pulled back quite a bit here. The reason I'm keeping it as a hold is because it's keeping inside these parallel channels. I have another video on parallel channels. It's a lengthy one, and it explains parallel channels with some different examples that worked out phenomenal. And what we're looking for is a 1, 2, 3 top formation inside this parallel channel and then have the prices break out of it. That is our exit signal, especially if it's confirmed with the moving average crossover. So we're in the 4-hour view here. If I go to the 3-month view, so we're looking at the 12-hour bars, we can see the moving averages are still quite a nice distance away while the prices have come down this side of the channel. I am expecting that BitShares prices will move up off of this channel. We'll see what's going to happen. I love drawing these out in advance and then see how the market actually plays them out. These are great trading tools. They're so simple and so great. Here's, okay, this stays as an alert day after day, building pressure. Clams, it's a hold. And we're watching this one now always watching for those exits now. So we're zooming in, zoom in, zoom in, watch for the top formations. So we have lower highs here now, and it's making a triangle. If prices start to break down below these levels, we'll call them near fails and fails as they're breaking down these levels. It's got some range in here now to even fall into a neutral category if it stays there. Civic coin is definitely a hold. So I zoom out to the 12-hour bars and pull back. This is when you can really start to see the perspective in this market, where we have such a beautiful bowl-shaped formation. It burst off much like Ardor did to break above these levels, really cleaned up, and then settled back above and is starting to show strength. So to have these examples is so bullish for the overall market is phenomenal, because everything all moves together. They all bottom together, they all top together, they all start breaking out together. And where is that study? Where are we? Dash. Pardon me. We'll go to Dash next. But as I was just talking about, they break out together, they top together, they come down together. I did a big study that is part of our alerts program. So here's our alerts. I'll scroll down to those great trades in a second here. But inside our alerts package, we don't go over just the colors of the trading signals. We get right down to specific entry, exit levels, percentages, and you can see some of our trades have been phenomenal. They're turning out to be amazing, just killer trades. You know, if your portfolio isn't full of 63%, 90%, 100%, 300%, they are there. They're in the charts. So don't sell yourself short. There's some great opportunities coming up right now. You can see some new ones that we just put on just recently. Already have 79% in GRS. We just put that on the 11th. And these were trade alerts here. Let's take a look at this. And then I'm going to go down lower in the page to finish off what I was. So look at how this consolidation was building up. It's obvious in the charts. These are the things we're studying every day on poloniex, and then we give them a color code. But in our trading alerts, we're doing everything on poloniex with much more detail, and we're doing everything on Binance as well. And lots of great comments. The thing I wanted to talk about is this bull market backtesting in the spreadsheets. And it determines, and it shows specifically when the markets are topping out and taking off for each of the different bull markets. Here we are from March to July 2017, December and January 2017-18, April to May 2018. We had that little shitty one in September, October 2018, and it failed. And I have to go through and do the back testing on that, because that's a really good one to know the really great, pretty good, oh, okay, and not so good bull markets, so that we can be identifying the entries and exits for all of them and how they all match together. If you purchase the alerts package and you're taking this study and you go through it and you open up all of these different screenshots from the tests, so you can see the 754%, 600%, 500%. You'll see over and over again these trades all opened up within a week of each other, 2 weeks of each other. All of these markets all turned to bull, and they all topped out at about the very same time as well, within a week or two of each other. So by doing these studies daily, and by studying these doing the back testing on these old trades, really helps in getting these pattern recognitions into your brain, so that when you see it, you just go, oh shit, there it is. And this is what I do. Done. It's phenomenal. This is great. And I'm super happy to share this. Fantastic to hear some of your positive comments. Not all broke out together. Nope. We have waves of them, actually, specific waves. I did a study where we were looking at the bull market stage, where we were checking out which ones are in stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4. Then we looked at which ones were in the early breakout, which ones were mid, and which ones are late. The mid and the late ones are really great for us, because these are where the opportunities are lining up for us right now. Those are the ones that, this is an early market. And we'll go over some mid and late ones here shortly. We're definitely studying the daylights out of this stuff, studying it to craziness, because for my own self, I made $500,000 in 2017 by watching this stuff. I'm very keen, because I believe I could have made $1 million if I wouldn't have made one mistake. And I'm watching keenly now to be sure that I don't make that mistake a second time. You can bet I know those patterns I'm watching for. This is beautiful. This is staging to blast higher. It's a hold right now, but I think it's a buy right now as well. Beautiful chart. Really, we'll look back at that as such a classic. Here we have a double bottom. It's done its breakout, kind of like Ardor and Civic Coin, and it's pulled back. Not quite as strong, but at least it's holding its own there. I'll leave it neutral again. If it starts to pick up off that, we can give it an alert or a hold. Digibyte was such a great one. Took off. It's pulled back. You know, this one should have been a cold fish right there. This is one that should have called it as a profit line right there. I did post it in our trading alerts inside the website as this was going by, as an option to say, hey, look at this top formation. Pay attention to this. However, another strategy is that we're looking to get out after the 12-hour exponential moving averages cross over. And the reason for this is we don't jump in and out of these fake down breakdowns. We got in so far back here that we have our stop losses just above our entry. This is still in profit. There's nothing for us to worry about. right? This is waves happening and we're down in a submarine basically, and this shouldn't affect us, especially if those moving averages haven't crossed over. So this is a filter to keep us out of trades at the early part so that we're not getting filtered in too early out of these fake out breakouts. And it's a filter to keep us into trades longer on the uptrend. We're going to follow this day by day as this goes along. I love this Digibyte example. I'm going to leave it as a hold, and I love it. That's a great example of how to, I don't know how to, if it's the right way to do it, but we're studying the options where we could have been getting out here, or we're following that 12-hour moving average crossover as our filter. And we have live tests right here, real case studies to be testing these things out with. We can talk about them ahead of time. They're clear and simple to describe. And then we can watch them work their way out. Doge is not doing what I'm wanting it to do. See what I'm wanting it to do? It's neutral, not a hold. EOS. EOS is making a top formation. This is a potential cold fish right there. A little bit lower and it'll be a cold fish, but we're going to hold to this moving average crossover. So it'll stay a hold, and we'll let that moving average filter out our exits to limit them to when that crosses over. Because this is just a bullishness, bearishness indication, not actual trading. I keep remembering. Ethereum Classic is taking off. I love it. I love it because we watched this one for such a long time, and now it's actually doing its thing. Ethereum we marked as an alert, and it came down. So this was an alert / near fail. So I'm going to put it as a near fail now. Factum. Okay, Factum. By the time we get to Factum, there's probably some new people on the call, and they're going, what are they talking about? What's he doing going through all these charts, and how do I figure out what he's talking about? The best way is to go over to IntroToCryptos.ca and register for the free chapter in my book. And it'll describe this 1, 2, 3 bottom formation and this simple trading plan that we're doing here. It's a simple trend reversal trading plan, but it's very powerful. It works so well for me in cryptos that I wanted to give this away. And that you also get a copy of the spreadsheet that we're working with this bull market watch spreadsheet. So then you can log in here anytime that you are doing your trading research and see if this data gives you some guidance and help. And I hope it does. There's a few different sheets in this spreadsheet. We've got some really great resources in the second sheet in the spreadsheet that I always go back to. Factum is next. Dum dum dum. It is making a double bottom here at least, so it stays. I'm gonna leave it neutral, but it could be a near fail as well. And maybe I'm being too bullish, too optimistic. Foam, we saw this one giving a really good green signal. I'm going to leave it green as a hold, just that it looks bullish. And we've got so much of these big green candles coming in. Maybe I'm being a little bit bullish on that, a little bit biased towards the bull side. Game is also pulled back a little bit. I wanted it to be a hold, but you have to put it back to alert. It's got to show continued strength off of this triangle. It can't pull back from there. That's not bullish. Gas. Okay, this is consolidated nicely, but I'll leave it as a hold now, but it's going to lose its hold status unless it wakes up and does something from here. Let us go to Golem Network Token, GNT. I'm biased on this one too, but look at those two shotgun pumps. Whoa. It's a hold for now. Hunter coin. I don't know what the big market is for Hunter coin, but it did break out. It's still holding good, so I just got to mark it as a hold. There's a couple markets here. Grin, I won't even look at. Kyber Network Token, taking off. Look at this. That's looking strong. That's still a hold. Beautiful. It might even be an alert right there. Now, if you were looking at trying to stage your way into these trades and you're wondering, how do I add on to a trade so that I put on $20 here, and if it proves me correct, I put on $20 at the next good chart breakout. So you're waiting for it to actually make a consolidation and start to break out higher, then you would add on. And these are the kind of places that would be considered. So then you would have your full position. Keeps your risk lower at the very beginning. And even now, if you add it on and it started to go against you, you could sell both positions and get out at a break even or at a small profit, even if this came back against you a bit. So adding on is an art form that has to be sort of mathematic weighed out as you're doing it. But certainly waiting for these consolidations to add on is really key. And it comes with belief. It comes with understanding how long it takes for these things to actually play out. So this remains a hold. Loom. Doom, doom, doom. That's a pretty simple one. Stays a hold. There's not an add-on signal here, though. So now that it's gone up this far, there's no jumping in on this trade. This has gone too far along. There's too much vertical below for this to be a risk. When it's down into something like this, there's your entry point. Now we can't add on to this or enter into this now until it comes back and gives us a consolidation. Since we're coming up to old support and resistance, maybe it'll bring us back to something like this. If it consolidates, this gives us a second place to be able to add on to our position, but not until it gives us a really nice consolidation like that. So while it is a hold, there's no jumping in on where it is right now. LPT, same thing, no jumping in on this. If it was a hold earlier, you were good. You've got your stop above your entry and you can just hang out, but there's no jumping into that one. Lisk, no jumping into this where it is right now. We had a very good entry when we were watching this. Fantastic to see this little bottom formation shape up, and we watched that breakout, turned it to a green. So it still is a green for us, still is a hold, but if you were looking at this, say, hey man, what should I do for Lisk? Nothing right now. You got to wait for this to consolidate and give you a nice cleaner entry point that gives you a nice close entry and stop loss level to be able to plan your trial of that coin. It'll come. It's coming. Keep watching. Litecoin, this is looking like a top formation to me. This has made some pretty good moves compared to Bitcoin. And so this is nerve-wracking to me. And we'll be watching for that cold fish. Where is our trend line? It's kind of tight, hey, with this type of trend line. We've got these consolidations moving on the way up. But this is the uptrend. These three right here. Look at that. So there's Litecoin's not going to go up too much more. I'm not expecting too much more out of Litecoin. Oddly, we'll have to see. This is really keen. I like this. I gotta actually take a copy of this chart. That just was pretty inspired. Where is our Discord chat? I want to share that in Discord. In general, oh, we got some chat going on there. Control V, just so I can have that to go back and look at later. Of course, I have it in the video too, but let's go take a look at KCS. This brings out the best of my dyslexia. KCS. Well, there's no getting into this now. We saw this nice bottom formation. I was really lucky because I wasn't watching for this. I wasn't watching this coin at all. I wasn't trading on KuCoin. I had an account there, but didn't have any coin there. I wasn't doing anything. I didn't want to start another one, just more for taxes. But one of our guys in our community pointed out, I looked at the chart and I said, well, I got to do it. So I took some of my mining earnings, $27, and sent it over there. Just got to buy some. And it was right around this time, right at this line. A little higher, actually, right here, that I bought mine. And it's turned out really well, but I wouldn't be buying in right now. Now you have to wait for this to come back and give a consolidation. And it may be a while, but it'll happen. So you just have to continue to watch for this to come back and make any kind of consolidation. Then it gives you a nice small range point to be able to buy here and have your stop loss here. But you got to wait for that consolidation now. So if I clear that stuff off and zoom in, this is really reactive to Bitcoin. Surprising. Pretty cool. Awesome to see. And I think that there's going to be many of these coins that are utility tokens that are going to be doing something phenomenal. There we go. So we got Litecoin. Still a hold, but I'm watching for that to top out. MadeSafeCoin. MadeSafeCoin. If you're new to the channel, click on subscribe. If you're not new, click on the thumbs up button. But look at this chart. This is a world-changing cryptocurrency technology that is not a blockchain-based system. This is not based on blockchain. But it's going to be a new type of internet where you have distributed servers instead of centralized servers. So I can build a website, I can put it onto the internet, it's broken into 1,000 pieces. When you bring up the website, all those thousands of pieces come together, they're decrypted, and there you have the website to access. And there's no one place of failure for your website files. There's no way to, it's completely the way the internet should be. And I think that it's actually going to turn into the backbone of the real internet, so that governments and big businesses will use this as a preferable place to hold their data because of the decentralized methodology in it. MadeSafeCoin. Now imagine if Google and Facebook had to pay the internet for every transaction, for every different time they move data back and forth on the internet. What if they had to pay for that, and there was a currency that they had to pay for use of the internet? This is what MadeSafeCoin is going to be. It's going to be the coin that powers all of the data movement, both storage and retrieval, on this new system of internet. So if there is some place to take your $20 this week, I would recommend $20 into MadeSafeCoin. One of those things that 5 years from now is going to turn into more than $20. So the price chart is insanely fantastic right now. Look at it. I want to make that into a hold, but it's not. It's neutral. It's coming up, and it's... Let's paper trade it all together right now. We bought it in at 3,200 Satoshi. And we'll see what that turns out to be in the future. It's insane. We are so lucky. This is an ascending wedge triangle that is building power. It's taking more time. There's more selling and buying. There's more money changing hands here, but it remains a hold, and I think it's going to continue going up. Navcoin, this is remaining a hold. It's broken up above our buy level and is creating another consolidation pattern that could be another buy level or the add-on right there. So this is a hold. Beautiful to see. Namecoin, I just don't understand it, but it's still a hold and taking off. Wow. NMR, which is not in my sheet. I apologize for not having put this in here yet. It's taking off. We marked this as a hold as it was consolidating and making new highs. It was taking off. Said, okay, it's a buy. It's like bullish if it does this. So it would remain bullish as a green on our chart. But really, what a nice chart pattern for just a brand new coin. Everybody wants to launch their coin and have that happen to it. NXT. There's a bottom formation. It's still consolidating and looking good. So it remains in that hold pattern. OMG has got to be in a hold pattern as well. Sure enough, there's our 1, 2, 3 huge buys. Really great strength taking off there. How about Omni? Yes, indeed. There's still strength coming out of this. So the movement in Bitcoin today has not shaken any of these alts. Pascal has pulled back a little bit, but still above the 1, 2, 3 bottom formations here. So these are all still hold, hold, hold. Maybe this one I could put back to neutral. And I'm being mean there because I was nice earlier. So we'll see how that turns out. Poly, nice formation, giving time for those people who didn't get on the train earlier to still grab a seat. I'm going to leave it marked as neutral, but it'll be an alert and a hold right away. I'm pretty sure. That looks really great. How did I get to PPC? Okay, that's where I should be. And it's still neutral. What else was I looking at? Poly. Oh, it's because it's not in our sheet yet. There's a few of them. Quantum, still looking like a hold. Rep, no doubt it'll be a hold. I love going through these so that it just verifies for myself. It's still a hold, but it's pulled back. I'm going to make it an alert, so it's not quite as bullish. SBD, well, it's still a hold. But if it starts to break below that, it'll turn into a cold fish pretty quickly because of this trend line is, that's such a clean, clear spot that it's right down against. That if it's breaking below that, these 12-hour moving averages will then cross over. They're really close together here now. But there's some big green buy candles, so that may not happen. Coin. Bottom formation, pulling back a little bit, but I'm going to leave it as a hold. It looks like it's fantastic chart. And I do have some. SNT, we called it a hold. We called this a hold, pardon me, when it moved out of this triangle. So I'm going to have to move it back to neutral right now. It's got to actually pick up more than that. The hold has got to pull up and hold above it, not come back like this. That's enough right there to change it into a neutral and really close to a near fail. If it's coming down to these levels, it'll be near fail and fail right away. And maybe that instead of calling this neutral because it was a hold, maybe I should be calling it a cold fish. But I'm going to leave it neutral. Steam. Okay, now this is one. We're looking at the 12-hour bars, so the moving averages have not crossed over, but it is making a top formation at these key levels, and it should not go down below that. We'll mark it as a hold here, but if it goes below, that would be, for me, close enough to be getting out. Another one to consider is this trend line here on these, the higher lows. As soon as it broke below that level right there, that was a potential sell signal too, depending on your trading methodology and your time that you have to be able to trade. Storage is a hold. Stellar Lumens is a hold because of where we got into it, and it's pulled back a little bit. The moving averages haven't crossed over, so we'll continue to mark this as a hold, and we'll observe that over time. We'll definitely be observing this as it unfolds. Going in, like, look at this. I zoom into the 4-hour bars, and the moving averages still haven't crossed over. So this helps filter us in to holding on to these trades and letting this kind of volatility happen without knocking us out of the market. It's just a bump in the road. So here we are. So far, it's only a bump in the road. Strat is also pulled back a little bit, so I'm going to move this back to not even alert status. It's got to go all the way back to neutral. Not the same as a cold fish. Kind of, but not. Syscoin. All right, so this is one that's actually continuing on to show positive after we turned it into a hold. It's tenuous. It could be an alert instead of a hold. Viacoin. Ta-da, still a hold. VTC. Ta-da, still a hold, and it hasn't done like a cold fish maneuver here for either of these. So they're still holds. Counterparty was actually shaping up to an alert. It stays an alert. This will be a buy formation if it crosses over. Oddly enough. XEM. It's pulled back a little bit. I'm going to take it from hold. I'm going to leave it hold. It's staying above those support levels. That's a healthy looking chart still. XMR really pulled back more than I thought. It pulled back, but remains in the alert status. XPM stays in the hold status. Wow. Never know what to expect. Just do what the charts tell you. Ripple went from near fail to fail. Wow. I wasn't expecting it. All the way I wasn't expecting, right all the way, continually thinking Ripple is going to do something different. Fail. Here's the bottom formation. This is building up into a larger bottom formation for our trading signal, but for this, it's good enough to be a hold. That's bullish. We're just being sort of general ballpark here. This is pulled back from an alert to a neutral. And now for the big moment of the show, where we're going to go to the cover page. I'm going to update this formula. Then I'm going to copy and paste it into place. And it's going to update our chart here to give us the bullish bearishness index update for today. Ta-da! All right, kind of what I expected, where we lost some of the bullishness and picked up a hint of bearishness. Just a little bit of that pincher effect from both sides, losing some ground on and gaining some bad ground on this. Interesting to be monitoring this over the days to see how this indeed plays out. I'm still counting for way higher. Dum-dum. And so no, so far we are not seeing more top formations yet. We're still seeing the bottom formations confirm it's maybe going sideways a bit and taking some time in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, but all of the alts are in a green position, in a bullish position, right across the board, pretty much in poloniex. It is astonishing. And we can see that if we go to our winning trades in Binance, go to our Binance winners, and here's all of the winning trades that we're holding right now. There's so many that we were able to pick up just at the right time that are now all winning trades. If you add up all of the percentage gains, it turns out to be 1,400% in the winning trades that we have collected on Binance. And if you look at over the losing trades that we have right here, you can see the open profit and loss in some of these down 22% in EDO. It's almost going to be kicked out of hitting our stop loss there. These are all of our losses. And if you add up all of these percentages, you get minus 121%. So this is all of our wins and all of our losses right now on poloniex. These are real documented trade alerts that we were monitoring all the way along from the late part of November and onward. And this is part of our bull market watch, not the bull market watch, but the IntroToCryptos signals and alerts packages that we have here, along with the training. And that's why we have these up to 300% profit in these trades, 360%, 129% in Theta, 104% in Litecoin, 103% here, 91% in ONT. All of these bottom formations can be picked out. You can identify them. You can check out the exact day when they all turn green. And if you're monitoring these, when to get in and get out, there's some fantastic gains that are really setting up right now in cryptocurrencies. Love it. So fantastic to be here to be able to trade these. Now let's tune in to see what Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum are doing right now. Let's zoom into the 5-minute bars, and this could be a bear flag. As prices have dropped down, they're consolidating, and they may go for another considerable drop down from here. Should that happen, we should be able to see it in the close-up indicators. So if I clear this chart and I bring up the indicators, we should be able to see RSI divergence to the negative, and we're not. On balance volume to the negative, it looks pretty positive. The MACD indicator crossing to the negative, maybe, but not yet. So we'll have to watch for this to go negative, this to cross negative, and for the RSI to be dropping down while this is making that little top formation and dropping, before we're actually going to consider this as a bear flag. Until then, it still looks like a bullish overall run still, that we're inside this upward channel, and there's no problem at all with a little bit of pullback that we've got here. So long as we're staying inside this parallel channel, all the price action is perfect, actually. So that about wraps it up here for today. Can I purchase now? Can I purchase Dogecoin? Sure, of course you could purchase now. Dogecoin. Sure, you could purchase now, but who knows how long it's going to go sideways before it goes up. Historically, once it comes down and goes flat, it doesn't stay there that long. So if I can draw this in here, well, October to December. Here's another month, maybe. This one, you could say it took from July to September. So there was 3 or 4 months of it at that level before it took off. Here, not at all, no time at all. Here, this is pretty much really the longest time that Doge has ever stayed flat. One of the 3 longest times that Doge has stayed flat. And we can see what happened afterwards. So I'm pretty excited about Dogecoin, and I'm watching it continually. I have one of my monitors set up so that I can see the order books on Doge. So right now there are 20 Bitcoin worth of sell orders at 51 Satoshi, 19 Bitcoin worth of sell orders at 52 Satoshi. And so when those big sell order walls start to get eaten up and destroyed, and prices start to the flow starts to come into the market, and you can see all that flow start to come in, then it might be time to take a position as prices are breaking up here. And there'll be 30, 60, 100, 150 worth of Bitcoin buying volume to move things up to that level before it's starting to take off. And with that kind of volume coming in, and I'm watching those buy and sell order charts, then I'll get a better idea of exactly when to jump onto the wave as the wave is coming by. You know, you could jump out on the still water and wait for the waves to come in, or you could go on about your business and wait for the waves and then just jump on just as the wave is coming by. Just get your surfboard out at the right moment. So right now I'm still watching. I'm still waiting. There's still quite a bit of volume to come into that before it's going to start taking off. But it'll come in quickly when it does. So we can see here that that big candle of volume all came in really quickly and then faded right off. So we'll see how that turns out. Ba-dum-bum. All right, so that about wraps it up. We can see that we're in the bull market. No worries there. We're continuing to watch to see where to be getting out. Some of them are starting to show that they could be potentials, but most of them, it's all good. No worries. It's time to just sit and watch things unfold. Remember, our job is to decide when we are wrong in the markets. It is not our job to decide how right we are. That's up to the markets. So our job is to get out of losing trades. Get out of losing trades. Keep your losing trades small. That's our job. Once the trade is positive, then we hand off that job. We put our stop loss above and we hand off that job to the markets. Let them tell us how far it goes. And we're going to be studying that now over the next couple months as this unfolds. Great to have you along. Thank you again for being here. Keeps me as regular as can be as well, and it's going to help me become a multimillionaire in cryptocurrencies. Anyway, we're done. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. All the best in your cryptocurrency trading.